Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Travis starts us off this hour in Toledo. Hi, Travis. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have a negative balance every month, and I'm kind of trying to figure out how to get positive again. Starting off kind of a little rough every single month after bills and everything.
So your bank account is negative every month? Like you're overdrawn?
Yep, I'm overdrawn. I actually almost on a weekly basis.
It's funny that you talk about this. I literally just got off a webinar about this very thing. And at the end of the day, it's probably boiling down to budgeting issues. Do you have a budget?
I've been working on trying to do one. I recently got the EveryDollar app premium because it was able to track my stuff better. But
yeah.
I'm struggling like weekly with groceries. It's just with a family of 5, it's hard to keep it under a certain amount.
Okay, so I want you to not try to do the budget. I want you to actually do it. I want you to go in there, put the numbers in there. That's step one.
You and your wife.
Yeah. Have you actually filled out a budget for the month?
No, I have not. I haven't been able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's step one. Matter of fact, I want you to go to everydollar.com/budgeting when this call is over, and I want you to sign up for the next webinar. Because if the issue is, I've got it, is it I don't have time to do it, or I'm not prioritizing the time to do it, I really want you to prioritize the time. Sit down with your wife tonight, start looking at it.
What's your take-home pay?
Take-home is about $3,600 a month.
How much is your rent?
The mortgage is $560 a month.
What's your car payment?
Car payment is a little high. It's $441 a month.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And 5 kids?
3 kids, wife that is unable to work due to, 5 people. 3 kids, wife that is unable to work due to medical issues.
What kind of medical issues?
It's actually like a hereditary degenerative disease where it's actually just getting worse as time goes on, too. So.
Mm. Okay. How old are your kiddos?
I got triplets, 4.5 years old.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So consumer debt's kind of got me in a
How much debt do you have?
Not including the car, it's about $26,000.
Okay. Here's the thing. We got to start at the other end. Groceries don't catch the slack. Groceries are the thing. So we're going to start with this. $3,600 at the top of the page. You follow me?
Yes.
Minus the important things first. The most important thing in your entire budget is food. You have the money to buy food. You may not have the money to do some other stuff, but you have the money to buy food, period. End of story. Okay? So $3,600 minus food. What are y'all spending on food?
I try to keep it around $180 a week, but I mean it's usually $180 to $220.
How often do you eat out? How often do you eat out?
Maybe once a week, but it's just me for lunch when I'm unable to pack. I am going to a trade school at night. It's either lunch or dinner. I go 3 nights a week.
Okay. All right. So if we take $800, $700 for your budget for food, right? For a month, that leaves us $2,900. So you can buy food. Food's first. You got me?
Yes.
I don't care if you pay anybody else until you feed your family. You follow me? All right. Second thing is we pay $550 for shelter. Done. Right?
Yep.
And then we pay the light bill and the water bill. So we're warm, we're fed, and we're dry.
Yes.
This is survival first. You following me?
Yes.
We may not keep this stupid car because it's freaking out of control. Mm-hmm. If we can't come up with a way to get it paid off soon, it's got to go. But for now, we're going to pay the car payment too.
Yes,
Food,
I got
shelter,
about 2
clothing,
years left in the
transportation,
car
and
loan.
utilities are basic necessities of life. We call those the 4 walls. You do the 4 walls before you do anything else. Everyone else, and let me tell you who's at the bottom of the freaking list. Student loan. How big's a student loan?
I don't have one, thankfully.
Good. You know who's right at the bottom next to them? Stupid credit card companies. Because you know what they can do if you don't pay them? Nothing except destroy your credit and sue you eventually 8 years from now. But we're going to take care of them before we get there. Okay?
Yeah.
They're at the bottom of the page. So let me just tell you, your emotional state and your sense of control over your destiny changes when your family is fed, the lights and water are paid, and the mortgage is paid, and you are in a different place emotionally and spiritually. The rest of it's just a stupid game I'm behind on.
Okay.
But right now it feels like life or death because you've got groceries as the last thing, not the first thing.
Yes.
Like, by the time I pay groceries, I'm overdraft. No. By the time you pay MasterCard, oh, wait, we're not going to go into overdraft, so we're not paying MasterCard. Screw them.
Okay.
For this month, and then we've got to adjust our income. Now, you got to get your income up, dude. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do to get your income up?
It goes up progressively every 6 months as long as I keep up my apprenticeship and everything. So
well, you got 6 months of hell then ahead of you. What are we going to do in the short term to get it up? You're going to trade school 3 nights a week. What are we doing on those other nights? Because you're about to do some more work, dude. Your family's hungry.
Homework and doing whatever I can.
Yeah.
Around the house, housework and everything.
Yeah, you're going to probably not be doing as much of that. The laundry may pile up a little bit because you got to go make some money because $3,600 is tough. Mm-hmm. So the way you get this straight side up is you first take care of necessities, and then 2, you get over the top of it, and we're going to cut expenses and add income, and that creates margin. And that will get you under control, Travis. So you do have a very tight, tough situation. So something's got to go out of the expense lines, and something's got to come up quickly in the income side. Because it's not easy. You got a really nice low house payment. It's the best thing in this whole story right now. So you got a fixable situation, but the faster you get the income up and the out go down, the faster the pain's going to leave. Okay. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just nervous about missing credit card payments and stuff.
I want to give you permission to feed your children before you pay MasterCard.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. When you get that straight in your head, all of a sudden it changes everything. Because if everybody's fed and the lights are done and the water's paid and the house payment's paid, I mean, we live to fight another day. But if we pay MasterCard and then we don't have enough money to feed the triplets, dadgum, that's not fun. Been there, done that. That terrorizes your butt, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Been there, done that.
everydollar.com/budgeting. Sign up for one of Jade's webinars. She'll walk you through what we just did. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y Refi. They're not a debt settlement company and they're not connected to a bank. Y Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Andy is in Bismarck, North Dakota. Hi, Andy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Jade. How y'all doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Well, Dave, my question today is, where do sinking funds land in the baby steps? I guess I'm currently on baby step 2. And so I have my emergency fund of $1,000. And, I have a house, and it's in need of, a new washer, a new toilet. I mean, I'm able to make by.
When you say you need it, okay, here's the way I think of it. In baby step 2, I want all the money I can possibly to go towards my debt snowball, right? And so if I'm kind of packing it all away in sinking funds, it puts less to my snowball, so I'm moving slower. In my mind, and then don't forget, you've still got the $1,000 saved. So washer, dryer, what was the other thing you said?
Toilet.
Toilet. If there's any way that you can kind of cash flow a quick repair on the toilet or just kind of keep things running, I would do that as opposed to packing away more money to replace the washer that hasn't even broken down yet. Does that make sense? That's what I would do.
I would do no home repair sinking funds while you're in baby step 2.
Okay.
I would just cash flow emergencies. Mm-hmm. So if the washer goes out, repair it or buy a different one used, right? Mm-hmm. If the toilet goes out, fix the toilet. Obviously, you got to have that thing running. So, but I mean, you cash flow those emergencies only. Mm-hmm. Everything else waits until after.
And you might be surprised how long.
Like a flat tire that doesn't give me the work, or
flat tire, you can cash flow that, or take that out of the $1,000, then refund the $1,000. Either one. But we're not doing a big car repair sinking fund. You don't need $3,000 in your car repair sinking fund while you got $10,000 in credit card debt.
Exactly. And you might be surprised, the washer could go on for far longer than you thought. The toilet could be working. Maybe it runs, or maybe it doesn't, do what you want it to do. But if it's getting the job done.
I found a hack on YouTube of all things that makes it run, but it's not super efficient.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah, I put a little black tar stuff on my roof where it was leaking. When I was in baby step 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was running down through the light fixture and dripping on the kitchen table, and, the electricity water thing doesn't mix, so didn't think I wanted to keep doing that, so I just smeared some stuff up there that was about $8, and then I put the $6,000 roof on the house, which it desperately needed, after we were done with baby step 2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I discovered you guys back in April, and I really needed you all the most, and got signed up for FPU and got the premium version of EveryDollar, and
good.
Well, thank you.
That has helped me so much.
I'm glad.
That's great.
Discover money for the month, right?
Well, now, I'll add one other thing because of the season that we're in. If you have family, you are going to do something for Christmas. You need to go ahead and decide what that is and put that aside. Because that one will sneak up on you and bite you.
That's a good point, Dave.
Okay, that's something we're going to do.
I talked to him about it, and we have a plan for him, and he's happy. I'm happy.
Okay.
So we made a very good deal. So,
we'll take care of the kiddos, and especially the little ones. And a little something for each other is fine. That's not the end of the world. Mm-hmm. But we're not doing $3,000 Christmases when we're broke, people.
Oh,
so we're going to cut this down. We're going to have a plan. Yeah. And we need to set that aside so it doesn't sneak up on you and bite you. Because Christmas is much more fun if you do it with a plan.
Absolutely, and
somehow people think chaos helps your generosity.
Oh, because they think that they want to just be able to go out and spend on a whim. And
it's just like, it's not like coming from the heart if I'm doing it from a plan.
What?
It's like, no, you're being a child, not a grown-up if you're, it is coming from the heart.
Yeah, and you're probably going to get better gifts if you sit down and plan for it.
Hello.
Because you're going to have a plan. You're not going to just go, oh, that's on sale. That looks good. I'll get that.
Seldom do you get the best price on impulse.
That's a truth.
That's so there you go. I mean, you make these dollars stretch, and we start laying out a Christmas budget. And I talked to my old friend Santa Claus, and he said the way to do a Christmas budget is make a list and check it twice, then put a dollar amount beside each person.
So what you're saying...
this is what I'm spending on and George Camel and I were talking about this the other day, and he said, "So what's beside my name?" And I said, $5. He said, "So I'm a $5 friend."
$5?
Nothing actually is beside George's name. Technically, I pay him a paycheck. He needs to just smile. But anyway, but seriously, but I mean, he goes, "Okay, so I can decide you're a $5 friend, or you're a $25 mother, or you're a whatever, right? You just, I'm sorry, but you are putting a value on who's going to get what, because you're going to spend more on certain family members than you're on others.
Yeah,
you should spend more on the little kids than on, the uncle that's generally drunk and not there anyway, and also and so on, right? So I mean, it should be off, right?
I think so. Well, that's your take on it. Do you want to know my take on it?
Yeah, let's hear your take.
Everybody has that person or those people that every year they feel obligation. Like, I've got to get so-and-so a gift. Or, if I don't get, she gets me something. If I don't get, I just say permission to say no.
Yeah. And, a preemptive no is a good idea, too.
Preemptive no is a good
hey,
idea.
You know what? I'm on a budget. I want to let you know. Please don't get me anything because I'm not getting you anything.
Yes. Just tell people.
Changed everything. Mic drop.
Or do that thing where it's like, if you have a big family, we used to do this. You put everybody's name and everybody draws one name instead of getting, gifts for 12 people and the cousins and the grandkids.
We were in bankruptcy. We went to Sharon's family. She's got 5 brothers and sisters, all married, all with kids. Ooh. 13 grandkids on that side. 8 adults, 10 adults, right? And then mom and dad. And they're all great people. Yeah. But we went in at Thanksgiving. We went, hey, guys, announcement, we're broke.
Yep.
We're not buying everybody gifts this year. Mm-hmm. We are opting to draw names. Hope you'll draw one with us.
Yep.
And they went, yes, we all hate it. Let's change it.
That's good.
And it was like waiting on somebody to first say it. Now, we did take the little kids, all the little grandkids that were under a certain age. They could just stay in the general gift pool. But the adults, you buy your brother-in-law a tie. I mean, come on.
Well, that worked out good for you because I had some family members who will remain nameless who were like, "Oh, you're ruining it for everybody.
You're ruining Christmas.
You're messing up Christmas." And I was like, "No, I'm not."
You don't look like the Grinch.
No.
You just don't look like
I'm not a real Grinch, but when it's time to get debt-free and when it's time to lay out those boundaries, I will be.
Listen, adulthood is different from Grinching.
That's right.
Grinching is you're just tight-fisted for no apparent reason.
And you end up buying, let's be honest, when you don't have the money to spend and you feel like you have to stretch and buy everybody something, you end up giving crappy gifts.
That's true.
Let's be honest about that. I'd rather give 1 or 2 really nice gifts for the people who should be on the list than stretching myself thin and getting everybody a $5 gift that I got at, I don't know,
so
the
you
dollar
can go
store.
ahead. I mean, it's early to talk about this, but you need to plan it. So let's make a list, check it twice, put a dollar amount beside it, total up the dollar amount. That's your Christmas budget. If you don't like your Christmas budget, go back and lower the dollar amounts or take some people off the list.
Yep.
And then just give them the old list notification removal thing.
Or you could, I love this. This is me. I do the cheapest. I will go in the kitchen and I will bake cookies.
Bake you a cookie.
And I will put them in a nice little tin, and it's about...
So you're not even a $5 friend. You're just a cookie friend.
I'm a cookie friend. That's right. People love that. People love things that you can eat.
I'd rather have it than the $5. I'm just saying.
Look, no one wants another bad-smelling candle. No one wants another soap with a ribbon on it that you're never going to use. Oh, that's the guest soap. Nobody wants that. They don't want a candle.
I can't tell you how, when we moved... how many. I got in one cabinet and I opened it up and I'm like, Sharon. And she said, they're all gifts. And I'm like, this is the number of scented candles that were in the Ramsey house that had never been lit. Yeah. It was like we had a collection of every brand and every scent. We could have opened our own little store.
Yep.
And I was just disgusted, and I should have sold them or something, but I just tossed them.
Yeah.
It was just like, God, this is just disgusting. It's like, what?
Yes, no more.
Yeah.
No more.
My friends, the minimalists, would have been happy with me. I just chunked the candles.
Yeah, just toss them out.
Too many things that don't bring, what's the other lady? Don't bring me joy, right?
That's right.
Marie
right? Kondo, yeah.
This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate, plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day is sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services. Once the kids are back in school, it's hard to find time for home maintenance, but Neighborly is your source for home repair experts like Precision Door Service, Dryer Vent Wizard. Download the Neighborly app today to be ready for all seasons.
All right, today's question comes from Tim in Louisiana. He says, I have about $56,000 in credit card debt. I'm being sued by one of my creditors for 2 credit cards totaling $30,000. The other credit card is 1 month late and another 2 months late. I lost my full-time job in January of 2022 due to medical issues. My income at the moment is $1,800 per month. I'm currently interviewing for a full-time job. I do not have the funds to afford a lawyer to litigate the cases. Neither do I have the money for a lump sum. The lawyers I've contacted recommended Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Do you have any suggestions? Man, oh man, you've got a tough situation. You've got the $56,000 in credit card debt, and to make it worse, you already knew it was bad, but now they're suing you and you feel like you're under the gun and, you're feeling forced to make a lot of changes right now in the moment. I'm not in your shoes, but if I were, I would really just take your time and just take a deep breath for a moment because, yeah, you're being sued, but nothing is happening today. Like in this moment, they're not coming to get you. They're not throwing you in jail. So you've got a couple of things hopeful that are taking place. You've got a full-time job interview that's around the corner. That's good. I want you to keep applying to other places because I want you to have a couple of job interviews coming up in case one of them doesn't pan out. So right now, thing one is let's get money coming in. Keep applying for jobs, keep interviewing, because once you get money coming in, suddenly you're going to be able to go, okay, I have options. I can start to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I would not pay a lawyer yet. I would, A1, get income in, get your job coming up. It says you had a medical issue, but it sounds like it was kind of a one-off thing considering that you're interviewing for full-time jobs again. So yeah, I'm not going to hire a lawyer just yet. I am not going to file for bankruptcy just yet. You didn't say what you were making before and what you plan on making in the future. Let's pretend that it's somewhere around the median income. Let's pretend it's somewhere between $50,000 and $67,000. If that's the boat, if that's where you're going to be just fine. And it's going to take you around average, like the folks that we talk to every day, it's probably going to take you around 2.5 years to pay this off. And then this is going to be something that was in your rear view. You got in a really scary situation. You climbed your way out. You were patient. You didn't freak out just because you're getting letters and notices. And they're trying to freak you out. They want you freaked out.
Jade's exactly right. Okay, they've sued you 100% of the time. You're going to lose the lawsuit because it's not based on whether you're a good person. It's based on you had a bill to pay and you didn't pay it. You lose. Mm-hmm. You can hire a lawyer if you want to hire a lawyer, but it's a waste of money. You still lose. Mm-hmm. You're going to lose the lawsuit. Okay, then you're going to have what's called a judgment, and then if they decide to execute on the judgment, that will be anywhere from 2 years or 2 months from now to never. Okay? It typically is never with credit card companies. But if they decide to execute on it, that is when they would garnish your wages. And that's a minimum of 2 months from the date of the court date when you lose the lawsuit. Okay? So the judgment is final on the court date, or it's final 30 days later, depending on the state that you're in. And then after that, they can sit and another 30 days and wait. And if you don't do anything, the fact that you've gotten a judgment against you, then they can execute on the judgment, which would they be able to scarf a bank account. They would be able to put a lien on your home. In some states, they would be able to garnish your wages. And that's executing on a judgment. Again, 9 out of 10 times, credit card companies don't do that ever. They just take the judgment lien and it's sitting there, and then someday you wake up and you're able to pay and you call them back and you work out a deal, which is actually what's going to happen here. My point is, it's going to drag out long enough that you should get your income back up. You should have already done that by now. You're late.
Well, yeah.
And so let's get with it. Let's get that income back up. And as Jade said, now when the income comes up, call the attorney that took the judgment lien and negotiate a settlement plan, a lump sum. I owe you $30,000 or I owe you 15 and 15. I can pay you 20 cents on the dollar for that in a lump sum. And if you saved up $5,000, you can probably settle that $30,000 judgment lien with them on a credit card debt. So you save up the money and you settle the debt, and then you move on with your life. But you got to get your income up to be able to do all this. $1,800 a year after you lost the job due to medical. If your health is recovered, you need to get back to work hardcore. Like 6 jobs by the end of the week and 16 more places to apply for full-time work.
Well, he's only working part-time. He's only making $1,800 a month. That means it doesn't matter what happens with these interviews. You need to be getting something else tomorrow. Like, you can work at McDonald's.
You need to be working 80 hours a week.
Yeah, you can work at McDonald's and make more than that working full-time.
Yeah, you can work at UPS is hiring. FedEx is hiring for the Christmas rush.
Yes.
Everybody's hiring. It's $20 an hour.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than $1,800.
22,
and
some of them.
You go to work is a great place to go when you're broke, to work. And that's your deal. You're going to have to create some income. And then when you create that income, you'll be able to settle this judgment in a lump sum settlement with the attorney in writing long before they get around to executing on the judgment that is going to occur. You're going to have a judgment. You're going to lose the lawsuit.
Yeah, it's not even worth hiring.
Don't hire a lawyer. Don't hire a lawyer. It's a waste of money. And you're not bankrupt. You just don't have an income. Mm-hmm. Because you can solve all of this for $10,000 or $15,000.
Yeah.
And so go get a lot of income, stack some cash, and clean this up. You're not bankrupt. You don't have an income. Mm-hmm. Bankruptcy court does not create income, people. It doesn't take $1,800 and make it livable. It's not livable. That's not a living wage.
And that's what I want to camp out just for a little bit longer. Something tells me, I assumed before that maybe he was making somewhere around median income. But I don't think so, because if you're racking up $56,000 in credit card debt, it's because you're most likely, I'm not saying he is, but you might be using credit cards to float a low core income.
It could be. And it could be just straight up what a lot of people did, like I did. It was just irresponsibility.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I don't know. But either way, stacking cash solves it.
That's fine.
And so go make the most money you've ever made in your life by working the most hours you've ever worked in your life consecutively. Don't worry, you won't die from overwork. Right before you die, you'll pass out. Don't worry about it. Go to work. Go work your tail end off and create some money. And I've done it. Jade's done it. We're neither one of us afraid to do anything that is legal and moral to go make money. We've both done it, and it's what it takes to get your family and your situation out of a ditch, man. Rebecca's in Philadelphia. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
So I have a little bit of it's not an issue, it's more of a blessing, I guess. I started the business in 2020, and I have about $2 million in the bank.
I hate it when that happens.
Single mom my whole life, scraped by, and this is all new to me.
Did you sell the business?
No, it's still going.
You're just making bank. Wow.
What kind of business is it?
Well, I hate to say it, but it's no. It's not that way. It's just due to COVID. The COVID vaccines, I do billing for doctors' offices. So all these vaccines, what we do is we do the medical billing and we take a percentage of their revenue.
Yeah, of course you do.
So with the pandemic being sick,
it blew up. No pun intended. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Okay, so number one, this is probably not going to be the rest of your life.
No.
Okay, so you need to be looking at your business model on what I can do to diversify my sources of income, because this one's not forever. Agreed?
Agree. And I'm not old. I'm not anywhere near retirement age.
But I'm just saying, if you're going to run a business, let's run it with a model that accepts that this is not the future. Then the second thing is what to do with the $2.1 million. Way to go! Hey, we want to give you Financial Peace University. We'll show you with the baby steps exactly what to do with it. We're going to pay off your house. We're going to pay off all your debt. We're going to enjoy some of it. We're going to be generous with some of it. And we're going to invest some of it for the future. And we'll show you how to do every bit of that for free. Our gift to you to say, way to go!
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with a daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Thank you for joining us, America. We appreciate you joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Kaylin is with us in Las Vegas. Hi, Kaylin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I'm trying to decide if I should go back to school for my bachelor's degree. I have an associate's currently, or if I should pay down a home renovation loan that my husband and I took out.
What's making you decide to go back to school? Like, what's the purpose in that?
So to give you guys a little bit of background, we followed the baby steps, skipping number 5 because we didn't have children at the time, and we were able to get to number 6 and pay off our home. Mm-hmm. So we decided to basically put our entire life of having kids on hold until then. Once we paid off our home, timing worked out kind of perfectly because we're both obsessive planners. We had our daughter, and that was last year, so it was a total of $127,000 in 30 months total that we paid off.
Okay.
We had her, and I quit my job. I have an associate's degree, but I wasn't using it. I was just working dead-end admin jobs. And
okay.
I've been looking for my calling for some time, and I feel like I've found it in front-end developing, but I want to have that degree and be able to make more money for my family. And
you don't need a 4-year degree to be a front-end developer.
Fair enough, but through talking through my community of people that I know who do work in this field, they said it gives you the option to be picky, basically.
Bullcrap.
Whereas if you go to you don't buy it? Okay.
No, I got 400 folks working in our tech team. I got front-end developers, back-end developers, platform, architect people all over this building. Almost none of them have a 4-year degree. And believe me, getting on at Ramsey's hard.
Yeah, I bet. So I guess in that case, you guys don't think I should go to school at all for this because it's going to cost $16,000 to $18,000 for my degree to be finished.
I think you should I think you should get the certification you need to do the job you want to do. But to echo what Dave said, it's not necessarily a 4-year degree. Maybe it's another program specifically designed for that work. You may need to get some of your Microsoft certs. You may need to do some code school, and code school could be as much as $10,000.
But if you're not up on your skills.
And that's kind of what obviously that is a path I definitely can pursue. I'm concerned
you have to do that anyway, because a 4-year degree doesn't teach you to write code. And you can't be a front-end developer if you can't write code.
And whatever you learn in your 4-year degree is going to be changed. You know, that field is constantly changing, and you're constantly having to update your education.
Yeah, if your goal is to write code, you've got to learn to write code.
My biggest concern that I'm having, though, is I'm working part-time from home, remote, and taking care of our daughter. I'm not able to produce a full salary right now, and we do have our house paid off. We don't have any debt, literally none, other than the renovation loan.
How much is the renovation loan?
I don't know if I should. $80,000, and we do have the ability to pay it over time. Obviously, we don't want to do that because
what does your husband make?
Interest being higher. $80,000.
Okay. All right. I would just put that at your baby. I would, that's the only debt you have. It's a mortgage on your house. I would call that your baby step 6. And so, I'm going to school, and I'm going to pay cash for school because that's what you want to do. But I am challenging strongly your presuppositions. I think you're wrong.
I agree.
Okay.
I mean, I got a bunch of what you're talking about working here. And I hired them. I mean, I didn't personally hire them, but the leadership team that I lead hired them. And, I've got a whole building full of tech people. Half our dadgum product line, 3/4 of our product line is digital. So, it's part of what we do every day here. I mean, think about what it takes just to support every dollar, if nothing else. The number of front end, back end, creatives, everything else on that is incredible. So, we support Bethel Tech because for $10,000 you can learn to write code. You can come out of there. You're a Dev 1 or Dev 2 coming out the door of that place, and it's $10,000 if you want to write code. Now, if you want to be a CTO, you may want to be a 4-year degree. If you want to specialize in web security and you want to learn all the different nuances of that, that's not code. That's not a front-end developer. Then you might want a 4-year degree. Information systems is not a bad degree, but it is not necessary to write front-end, back-end code or to be proficient in Ruby on Rails or whatever it is the people you're working with are writing in. And so, that's what matters is can you write the code that makes the thing dance? And that's syntax. That's all that is. And it's a process to learn, like learning another language. And so now you know everything I know about it, which is almost nothing. But I do write the checks for these people's pay. And I do know that we don't require them to have a 4-year degree. And we went, we're going to select you. You're not real good at code, but you have a 4-year degree over the guy who can write code so fast it makes your eyes cross. No. Yeah. We're going with the Dev 3 over your dadgum 4-year degree every stinking time with proven code skills.
Yeah. Our career coach, Ken Coleman, talks about that all the time, and he'd probably suggest you go to betheltech.com/Ken Coleman and see what they offer. It's not your typical 4-year degree program.
No.
And it's probably just what she's looking for. So
again, if your goal is what you said, to be front end, you do not, I'm just 100% sure. I'm an employer of a bunch of them, again, that you don't need that.
Yeah.
But if you've got a different goal that's nuanced in, I want to enter through the front-end developer, then, you might need to have that information systems 4-year degree. It gives you, it doesn't even give you the permission to play. It's not table stakes. It's just knowledge base. It gives you, because knowledge is the currency you're after. And you know what? That's a good jumping off point. Let's just do a Dave Jade rant here. The whole student loan debacle is out there. And it's not her. She's not doing this at all. But one of the things we've discovered in fighting against these student loans and their restarting and everything else is the core issue is that Americans got lied to for the last 50 years. We told every generation that you had to get a college degree to be successful. That was born in, and of course that's bullcrap.
Absolutely.
Okay? That was born, and any college degree will make you successful. You can get a degree in left-handed puppetry, German polka history, and then America owes you a living. No, they don't. You're going to be a barista.
Yeah.
Okay? That's dumb. So don't go get a stupid, useless degree.
Well, shame on parents and shame on guidance counselors for making things like community college and the trades seem like a lower option, right?
Exactly.
Because when I was in school, if you said you were, back then it was called Vol State, if you said you were going to Vol State, people looked at you and went, oh,
you just didn't make the big team.
Oh,
you're on the junior pro.
look at that. And a lot of that, a lot of that is parents wanting to be able to say, my kid goes to Berklee College of Music, my kid goes to FSU, my kid like, we get a lot of pride out of that. And at what cost?
Yeah, a lot. So the thing that was, the problem was the lie, like so many good lies, was based in 98% truth. Get a college degree and you'll be more successful. So that's a lie. But the 98% truth that's inside of that is get more knowledge.
That's right.
Yeah, knowledge is the currency of the culture. And in her case, knowledge is her currency. It's not the degree.
Yeah.
It's not permission to play. It's not you can be more picky. It's knowledge.
And knowledge doesn't end.
Always getting knowledge. The rest of your life is mandatory.
Exactly. But we have this thing of I get my 4-year degree and I'm done.
And I'll watch Netflix the rest of my life.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that.
No. And you know everything about Tiger King and nothing else. So now, continuous learning, the continuous gathering of knowledge. Knowledge is the currency of successful people. You can spend knowledge and become successful. More knowledge in the proper way that has use to the society creates more financial and societal success, relational success. So gather knowledge, don't gather degrees. Some people gather more degrees than a thermometer and they have no knowledge. Worse than that, they have no wisdom. and then they're useless to the culture. Yeah. And $260,000 $280 million in credit card student loan debt.
Yeah.
So
and try to get the knowledge that people care about that you can monetize.
And in her case, get the knowledge that causes you to get the job you want. And make sure you're getting the right thing, because that's another one of those pieces of the lie. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Allison is with us in Salt Lake City. Hi, Allison. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to speak with you guys.
You too. What's up?
My question is about sinking funds, and logistically, where do you keep that money that you are setting aside for big ticket items? Do you keep it all in your checking account, or do you have like 10 different little savings accounts?
I would not do 10 different savings accounts or keep it with my normal checking account balance. You could do it one of two ways. You could either pull it out and put it in cash envelopes and just kind of have those, put them in your safe or put them, wherever you keep safe money in the house. Or I'll be honest, I like to do my savings accounts in online banks. And a lot of them, the one I use, you can kind of have one account, but you can drop it into different buckets. And so let's say you've got, you've saved up $10,000 and you've got 2,000 of it is a new lawnmower and 3,000 of it, you can name it off in buckets so you can see. And whenever you automate money over there, you can let it, go into whatever bucket for your sinking fund that it needs to go into. So that's how I do it.
Yeah, we keep two accounts for purposes of this. One is for your emergency fund. It should be completely separate and disconnected from everything. Mm-hmm. No auto overdraft protection on your emergency fund. No ATM access on your emergency fund. You don't have real life emergencies that are instant. you do have real life impulses that are instant. So you keep your emergency fund where it's hard to get to. Then I kept a separate checking account, and then like Jade said, I just keep buckets on it. There's actually a form, if you wanted to use old-fashioned paper forms, there's a form in the back of the Total Money Makeover book called the Breakdown of Savings form. And all that is just like, okay, there's $10,000 in this miscellaneous sinking fund savings account that's not emergencies, okay? And of that, $5,000 is the car, $2,000 is furniture replacement, and $1,000 is Christmas, and it adds up to $10,000. You see what I'm doing? So it's just like she said, it's bucketed out, and it's a separate account. If you said large ticket items, I would use a bank. I wouldn't use envelopes on large ticket items. If you got something that's a couple $100 here or there, envelopes are great for that.
Okay, so you're just saying maybe when I'm doing my budget, if I say, all right, we've got a total of $700 that we're putting into various sinking funds. Let me send that $700 to a totally separate online bank. Because I know my little local bank that I use, it's like really high maintenance to go in and set up different accounts. They don't have,
I mean, if you find one that's not high maintenance, find one that's got the bucket feature to it, like she's talking about, it just makes it easier. But if you want to just, it's a scratch pad. It's 10 items. I mean, how many different sinking funds are going to be combined there?
Well, I don't know. It depends on how.
Well, I mean, you're not going to do $50 ones. $50 ones are going in an envelope. I'm not going to screw with it for that.
What you could do, this is what you could do. Do you have Every Dollar?
I have. I'll be honest. I've been binge listening lately, and I've been motivated to budget, which is what is getting me started on this. I'm currently dating.
The reason I say that is because let's say you have $700 that's your extra that's going towards various sinking funds. In essence, it's going to one account, but on Every Dollar, you can create a separate fund for each of them. And that'll keep track of how much you have going to a, car repair, how much you have going towards a new sink, how much you have. It'll keep track of it monthly. That way, you don't have to fool with the bank to do that. You don't have to have it on paper. It's there within your budget. And
where would the money physically be sitting?
It'll physically go to whatever savings account you set up.
Okay, so you would have to set up a savings account.
Whether that's
a separate savings account for my emergency fund.
But if you want to be able to, if you want to be able to see at a glance. If you want to be able to see at a glance, how much do I have for the washer? How much do I have for the new car? You'll be able to see that on Every Dollar because it'll keep that running total in your fund.
Yeah, it'll help you. It'll give you sinking fund totals. It gives you the breakdown of savings.
Yeah.
And so, but if you need it's preferable and the easiest to have a savings account that you can attach to your checking account, move the money from your checking account, that $700 into there, and then bucket it. $50 to that, $100 to that, $150 to that, and Every Dollar will help you keep that breakdown. And I would jump in and use that. That's one of the Every Dollar is just so robust; it'll help you get this done. All right, Stacy's with us in Los Angeles. Hi, Stacy. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Jay. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my husband and I were in baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and we would like to know if it would be unwise to sell our house and downsize into a condo to be in a better area.
What would be unwise about that?
Well, I don't know. I've always lived in this area where we're at, and so jumping from this city to the next, it just seems... I don't know. We've just never done it. So,
is it the city aspect or that you're going to a smaller home?
No, it's the city aspect.
Okay.
So right now where we live, we love our house, we love our school, but once you leave our house, we're driving down a road and we're, to get to my daughter's gymnastics, we drive by a strip club and the homeless situation is getting kind of out of control, and we just kind of want to be in an area eventually where, it's new and safe. And
you want to live in a better neighborhood.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
What's wrong with that?
Is that I just wasn't sure if I'm just, not being grateful or content. I also want to know if I'm just have one of these crazy ideas again, or should we just stay put?
Well, are you downsizing? Are you spending less money and getting less home?
So it would be downsizing. Mortgage-wise, we would like to stay in the 25% of our take-home pay. So we would have to downsize into a condo. And that's what the part, is that dumb? Is that dumb to do when you're living in a home with a good school, but everything else around you is kind of...
Well, let me help you. If everything else around there is gone, then pretty soon the school's going to go too.
That's right.
I know.
Well, I mean, that's reality, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's probably what's going to happen.
It kind of seems like you have in your mind this picture of what life is supposed to look like, and you're going in another direction. You're going, no, this is what happiness looks like for us. Happiness for us is being in this area. It doesn't matter what the size house is. It doesn't matter. These are the things that make us happy. And it sounds like you're kind of butting that up against what culture has told you. And I think that if you've decided, hey, you're fine living in a smaller residence, that's your prerogative.
I grew up in a 1,000 square foot home. I'm not mad at my parents. I wasn't abused or mistreated, but I'm not required to live in a 1,000 square foot home in order to not be a snob. I cannot be a snob and live in a big butt house. Mm-hmm. The size of your house doesn't determine whether you're a snob.
Yeah.
You're not being ungrateful. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Graham is in Boston. Hi, Graham. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks so much, Dave and Jade. It's really an honor to speak with both of you. We've been listening and on your program for the last 20 years. We paid off $201,000 in 18 months as a result, and just thank you so much. My question has to do with my wife and I are considering going onto the missions field, and we're very curious your guidance and counsel on how we should prepare financially for that.
Okay. How prepared are you financially for that?
Well, we're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We currently have about an annual salary of about $250,000 to $300,000, and we're not sure the timing of when we would go. So we're just curious about what we should be looking to try and do before we end up going on the field.
Okay. Is the timing sooner or later? Are you talking about 10 years from now, when the kids are grown and gone? You're talking about you've established a net worth and you'll live out of that instead of raising funds, or are you talking about 10 months from now?
No, we're probably looking more towards 5 to 10 years from now.
Okay. All right. That helps set the table. So you make really good money in what field?
My wife works for the government, and I work as a management consulting for just a big firm.
Okay. So based on your projections, where will you be? You should have the house paid off and have a pretty substantial net worth in 5 to 10 years, shouldn't you?
That's the plan. Yep. We currently have about a $500,000 net worth, but yeah, we would be looking to try and do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're 4, 5, and 6, so you'd pay off the house. And hypothetically, if you're going to stay on the mission field, you're not going to need the house. So that would add to the pile of money that you would live out of. So, I mean, the way I view it, and there's a vast array of views on missionary work and how it's funded around Christianity, for sure. The way I look at this whole thing is pretty simplistically, I don't own anything. I am a Christian. God owns it. I manage it for him. If he's asking me to go on the mission field and use his money to do that, boom, I'm doing it.
Facts.
Okay? And so whatever pile of money I have or assets I have are for his use. And if you determine his use in your call life as a call to the mission field for a number of years, then if you're going to be there 3 or 4 years, you're going to sell your house.
Well, I wanted to ask that question. How long do you foresee doing this?
Well, I mean, we'll go until the Lord calls us to not. But I mean, we're also not entirely sure if we'd go support raising. We try to start a business, and try to prepare. And so that may add in what sort of capital we want to raise prior to going. But
yeah. But let's pretend you got $1.5 million with a paid off, including a paid off house, just for the fun of it, which is possible, making $250,000, okay, in 5 to 10 years. All right, if you had that just in a pile, in a mutual fund, and it makes 10%, it makes $150,000 a year. You're self-funded in perpetuation. Mm-hmm. You follow me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I guess part of our question is my wife's parents, served on the field for 20, 22, 25 years. As we prepare to potentially have to support them with their limited retirement options, should we add that calculation in? Like, should we be trying to set aside to help them? Or, I mean, I know that's part of the overall picture, but I mean, that's sort of how do we think about there's going to be a need to potentially have that additional expense that we have to take care of as well?
Well, you're supporting 2 missionaries, one that didn't have support and you.
Yeah.
And so now we're supporting 2 families out of this $150,000. And I guess that depends on how you want to live on the field and which country you're in, what the lifestyle entails.
And what they need living back here.
And what they need. But I mean, if you can live on 75 and they can live on 75 and your nest egg's creating 150, you're still in perpetuation. Agreed?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's the way you just work it out and go, okay, what does mom and dad need? I'll guarantee you they're not used to living very high on the hog. Agreed?
Right.
Yes, they were in
They probably don't have hugely opulent expectations. These are probably wonderfully modest, humble people.
That's correct. They are.
Yeah, and depending on which area of the world you're in, your cost of living may be zippo,
Yeah.
It may not be much. I don't know whether you're talking about, I don't know what country you're talking about, a developing country or whatever, but you can live in some areas of the world for little or nothing because, there's not much there. And so, $75,000 would be living like $200,000 in the States in a lot of areas. Agreed?
Yeah, it does make sense. I guess the question is, if we wanted to raise capital to start a business, right? Should we
start a business on the mission field?
On the mission field, yes, to be very clear, yeah.
Now, then in addition to you supporting, you ask about raising your family, then you ask about not only taking care of your family, but in addition to that, taking care of your in-laws, and now we're going to start a business. So the more of this we need more money. If you're going to go over there and say, I want to create some self-sustaining works by helping the people I'm working with not only meet Christ, but also build an economic model that they can support themselves going forward instead of living off of donations from the states the rest of generationally, right? I love the idea of sustainable works. Then you got to figure out how we're going to fund that. That's a third bucket. Do we raise money on outside, or do we have $5 million saved and we're going to put $1 million into that and we're going to use the other? I don't know how much you can save between now and the time you go, but at the point that your nest egg no longer will take care of you and your in-laws because you put it into that, then I start to question the wisdom of it. Mm-hmm. Because I do know that God said take care of your own household first, or you're worse than an unbeliever. That's in His Word. And so for your kids, your family's needs not to be met reasonably while you go do something else is not scriptural. So we're going to do now. You don't have to live in the biggest house in town or anything like that. That's not the point. But needs being met. I'm going to take care of my own household. The kids are going to be fed. My wife's going to, have reasonable care and so on with the numbers that we're talking about. And then we're going to take care of the in-laws. And then if there's money left, you can start creating some sustainable works. And I like every bit of that. I think all of those things are not only honorable, moral, but I think they're excellent from a spiritual perspective. Yeah. All of this the key word here is money and prioritizing it in order of importance. And then once you've gone down the list, you can determine what it sounds like the sustainable works is at the bottom. And then that's going to determine what that looks like. Yeah. You might not be able to do, a $1 million project, but whatever your budget decides. Yeah. And, from a generosity perspective, a good sustainable work is the easiest to raise money for. Mm-hmm. Because people that have money like putting it into something that it doesn't just go down a black hole. That's right. And you never see it again. Yeah. We want to create a sustainable environment. Yeah. Where the folks are, if I can buy someone a cow and it feeds their family forever, mm-hmm. I'd rather do that than buy them a case of milk. That's right. Yeah. And so that kind of a thing as a generosity move when you're raising money from people of means, right? Which is where you're going to raise money from. Broke people don't have any money to give, so then they're going to like the sustainability idea. Yeah. And the Ramsey Family Foundation has invested in that several times. I mean, we've bought rice fields, so that they feeds families for generations. Then, in the name of Christ, we have bought cows, and in those situations, and so, but all through someone like a Graham who's on the ground guiding that and drilling wells creates sustainability. That's right. That's another sustainable move, that kind of a thing, again, versus just sending buckets of water, so to speak. So that people love to give to those kinds of things. So it's easy to raise money to get partners to come alongside you to do that than to do the other things. And all of that can be a part of, obviously, the evangelistic move as well. And they've got 10 years to set this all up, it sounds like. That's a lot of time. Yeah, I think you just got to keep your priorities straight. If it gets all jumbled in your head which comes first and you don't force rank it, you'll mess it up. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now to get up to 50% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Just 9 days before the money and marriage getaway here in Nashville. Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney will be doing 3 days with you in every detail of marriage, including money. Money and marriage, every detail of money, including marriage. There you go. It's all going to be there. And with those two, it'll be fun. They're funny. And they're entertaining, and they're very bright, and it's going to be a great weekend. It's $799. It's the entire weekend spent here on our campus. We're going to walk you through a whole bunch of different exercises. You're going to leave with your marriage strengthened in ways you never even dreamed. October 19th through the 21st. More at RamseySolutions.com/events. Travis and Brianna are with us on the debt-free stage right here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
Hey, Dave, we're doing great.
Welcome. Where do you live?
We live in Dawson Springs, Kentucky. It's just a little north of Hopkinsville.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, welcome to Nashville. Good to have you. And all the way down here, what's it, probably an hour and a half drive or so?
Roughly,
Give or take, yeah. And to do a debt-free scream, how much have you paid off?
We have paid off $77,500.
Woohoo!
Way to go.
Thanks.
How long did that take?
Took 2 years.
2 years. Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
It was $72,000 up to about $128,000.
Wow.
Nice
Way
jump
to go.
in 2 years.
Thanks.
So what do you guys do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an electrical engineer.
All right. Very cool. So what caused your income to almost double in 2 years?
So we actually just picked up a lot of side hustles. So with me being...
A lot.
Yeah. We picked up those. So I started tutoring, peer tutoring at my college. I'm working on my bachelor's degree, so that was an opportunity for me, and then picked up some substitute teaching. And then Travis had a lot.
Yeah, I did some side engineering outside my day job, and then I also did some residential house wiring. I did mowing yards. I did piano lessons.
Wow.
Flip stuff on eBay, Facebook Marketplace. Just several things.
Not much time to sleep in all that.
No.
You guys went
those
crazy.
Those
I
side
love
hustles sound like a full-time job. I mean, that's literally the equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what'd you make as a peer tutor?
It was just about $13 an hour. They only let you work so many hours a week because there's so many peer tutors. So, yeah, it was about $13 an hour. Just
Okay,
extra.
so out of all those different side hustles that both of you did, I bet the engineering probably made the most, right? Per hour.
Right.
Yeah, and then what was the next best one?
Mowing yards is great.
Yeah, it is. It's real
You
good
got a
money.
mower.
Yeah, good money. Good. Very cool. What kind of debt was the $78,000?
It was just our house.
You paid off your house. Look at it, weird people.
Look
at this
that.
house. I just
Wow.
popped it up on YouTube. Nice. God, how many acres have you got?
It's about 2 acres.
Ah, nice. A lot to mow.
Man.
Speaking of
Lots
yard
to mow.
cutting.
Right.
Yeah. Look at you,
This
man.
just got even better.
Yeah, what a
Yes.
beautiful place. How long have you two been married?
About 5 years. It
Way
was
to go.
5
What's that
years,
house
4
worth?
days ago.
Around 200,000.
Look at you. Man, that's fun. How old are you two?
I'm 23.
I'm 29.
And their house is paid for. Did you see that house?
I saw it.
So
I
weird.
saw it. I'm shook.
Yeah, these people are weird. I love it. I love weird people. Way to go, you guys.
Thank you.
Man, normal's broke in America, and y'all ain't. I like it. Very cool. So you've been married 5 years, but you've been on this journey to knock off the house for 2 years. Tell us the story. How'd you get connected to Ramsey? What caused all this to happen?
So Travis actually worked at a previous plant, and one of his coworkers actually told him to start watching the Ramsey YouTube videos. And around then, we also had our daughter, Eliana. So she is almost 3 years old in January. And I was pregnant, and then his plant actually shut down. So with it being the shutdown and then COVID and all of the things, we were just a little bit more stressed than usual. So watching those YouTube videos, it just kind of got us wanting to do more than just being Ramsey-ish for the first couple years of our marriage. And we started actually like picking up the pace and getting on a budget and all of those things that we needed to do.
Way to go. Wow. Yeah, I mean, COVID, plant shutdown, pregnancy, all these things will wake you up.
Yeah.
But all three of them together, if you don't wake up, you're dead asleep.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's amazing.
Golly.
My question is, you're doing all these side hustles. I mean, you just listed a ton of them, Travis, that you guys were doing. Were the people around you thinking, wow, these folks have lost their minds?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But not the folks folks that you have with you today, right?
No. So in that process, we were wanting some more cheerleaders, so we actually started coordinating FPU at our local church.
Nice.
During that process. So all of these people have actually been through that class with their parents and my aunt. And then even our Smart Vesta Pro, he wanted to join along in this, so he come through too. But we have a team now. We have several people in the church are with us.
I love that.
Wow. Start a class, and that'll create your own peer pressure group. Yeah.
Make your own cheerleaders.
If everybody's going to gripe about it, we're going to put some people around that aren't. Yeah,
Okay,
good for
that's
you
right.
guys. Thank you for doing that. Thanks for coordinating the class.
Absolutely.
And when you're doing the class, you can't really not do the stuff.
Yeah,
It kind of like sets you up to be a hypocrite or be a performer, right? Yeah, you got to get her done. So, wow. And your house is paid for, and you're 23 and 29.
That's so crazy. I know. My mind is blown.
Awesome. And you're making 100 and, have the ability. You're probably not going to keep all those side jobs now, but make over $100,000 a year, and you're in your 20s, and you got nothing to do but stack cash. What's the first big thing other than coming down here that you're going to do to celebrate?
Well, we're actually been in Nashville for this weekend. It's our 5th anniversary.
Oh.
So we stayed through for a few days, but we're probably going to upgrade the family vehicle.
There you go.
Do a few upgrades to the home.
Okay.
What's the side hustle that you couldn't wait to quit? Like that the first on the list, gotta go.
I mean, I worked pretty hard doing all of them, but I did electrical wiring. I would work my day engineering job, regular, 9 to 5 kind of thing. And then in the evening, I would wire houses a lot. So I would work till 9, 10 p.m. and I'm at home wondering what my little girl's doing, and she's home asleep by the time I get home. And so that, pushing through that.
That's the first one to go.
Oh, yeah.
That was hard on you. It wasn't hard on her. She won't remember it.
Nope.
But she will know her whole family tree got changed because her daddy wasn't afraid of hard work.
I know, that's right.
Proud of you, man. Well done, you guys. You guys are heroes. You've set yourselves up to win forever. This is awesome. You're inspiring. Very cool stuff. Hey, we've got the Live and Give bundle for you. The Baby Steps Millionaires book, Total Money Makeover book, Financial Peace University membership. You'll be able to give to those to some of the people you're leading, and maybe enjoy the Baby Steps Millionaires book. When you're leading those classes, people ask, how do you get out of debt? What do you tell them the key is?
So for me, ours are a little bit different. So I'm the spender and he is the saver. So for me, it was sticking to the budget, making sure you communicate, and just really try to stay on track with it. The Every Dollar app was really helpful in tracking our expenses so you can get to our bank account. So that was the key for me personally.
And then the two of you using the Every Dollar app to work together. That's a big deal. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she calls me the nerd. I embrace it. It's okay. I like math. It's all right.
I'm the nerd at my house, brother, so it's okay.
So for me, about a year ago, last Christmas, Zach, our advisor, he recommended that we could be debt-free, including our house, come this Christmas. And we had a meeting with him last year, and we were talking about it. We thought it sounded crazy. We thought it sounded impossible, and kind of blew it off. And then going through Christmas, and we're thinking about it. I'm running some math, and I'm putting the debt total there, and I'm trying to work it back, saying, what would it take? What if we sold this? What if we made just a little bit more? What if I picked up some engineering stuff to increase my side income? So so we realized, well, with a few things, it actually is possible. So I said, hey, I'm going to start doing engineering work 2 Saturdays a month. So I did that. We had to start doing that from January. So from January to August, we actually beat the timeline, because you'll find out as you start doing this, you get more excited.
That's right.
And so June and July, I worked every Saturday, and we paid it off in August because we were so excited.
Wow.
And now you can do whenever you want. If you work like no one else, later you can work like no one else.
Absolutely.
Way to go, you guys. You're amazing.
Thank you.
All right, Travis and Brianna, do you want to bring Eliana into the shot?
Sure.
Okay, bring her up here for the debt-free scream. They're from the Hopkinsville, Kentucky area. $78,000 paid off in 2 years, 24 months, making $72 to $128, the most side hustles I think I've ever heard. And Eliana's had her whole family tree changed and doesn't even know it. I love it. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! Well done! Man.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Adam is in Springfield, Illinois. Hi, Adam. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
A quick question for you. How do we deplete our savings/emergency fund to pay off our mortgage, or do you work on saving up while keeping that emergency fund there to build up enough to make a final payment to your mortgage?
The second choice. Just go on and build up, keep your emergency fund intact, and go ahead and build up whatever that difference was. What is it, $30,000 more that you need to pay off the mortgage?
Yeah, our mortgage is $39,000 right now at 2.5%.
Okay, to start with, we shouldn't have an emergency/savings fund. We should have an emergency fund, and a savings fund is a separate amount. How much is in your emergency fund? Not the savings.
Okay, well, we've got $20,000. We've got $20,000 in savings that I've been saying our emergency, our 4 to 6 months.
Okay, your 3 to 6 months is represented by $20,000. Is there other money in that account? Other money in addition to that $20,000?
Yes. We've got a $2,000 emergency fund, and I've got a pension with about $28,000 in it, an IMRF pension, and my wife's CSRS pension is about $250,000.
So we don't want to use any retirement funds, and I think you meant to say $20,000 in the emergency instead of $2,000, right?
Yes, sorry. We have $20,000 in savings.
Not counting retirement, is $20,000 all you got?
Yes.
Okay.
22, because we've got a $2,000 as our emergency fund. The $1,000 emergency fund.
No, the $1,000 goes away. Okay, $1,000 goes away when you're at baby step 3, which is where you are. You're debt free, but you're home, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we don't have a $1,000 emergency fund anymore. That baby step 1 is just until you're out of debt, and you're out of debt except your house. So now we have one emergency fund only that should be 3 to 6 months of expenses. What's your household income?
We're sitting at about $140,000.
Okay, then $20,000 is probably your emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
So you really don't have any extra to put on your mortgage out of that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Then no, you don't have anything extra to put on your mortgage.
No. You are correct.
Yeah. Okay. So we're not going to do anything extra on the mortgage because you don't use your emergency fund towards paying off your mortgage because it's not an emergency.
Right.
It's wise, but it's not an emergency.
People get tempted. People do get tempted to do that because they go, oh, I only have this much left, but it's a bad choice.
Yeah, if you called me up and you said, okay, in savings.
Right, separate from the emergency fund.
We have $80,000. Of that, $20,000 in savings, and I got $60,000 extra above my emergency fund, then I would say, yes, throw that towards the mortgage and keep the $20 in the emergency fund.
That's right.
But it's a good idea to not, let's just talk about this. The reason I was being so specific with him is I learned a long time ago that people that have savings accounts don't save money. Because a savings account, if you don't have a system with it, becomes what's called a put and take account. You put it in and take it out.
It's
put
just,
it in and take it out.
That's right.
Until you put it in, it's a very large impulse account.
Yeah.
And so we put a bunch of money in there and we buy a bass boat. Then we put a bunch of money in there and we have an emergency. We put a bunch of money in there and we buy a couch. We put a bunch of money in there and go on a cruise.
Now, if you've got your debt paid off and you've got an emergency fund, then you could have a savings account.
You can have a savings account, but don't have a vague savings account ever.
Yeah, I agree.
It has to, every dollar needs a name in your budget, and every dollar in your savings needs a name.
Yeah.
I'm saving this amount for the couch, this amount for the cruise, this amount is for emergencies. I don't have any miscellaneous impulse accounts. Because they will do that. They'll just that's why I don't, I have emergency savings account. No, you just have an emergency fund.
Yeah, that's I think that's something that Ramsey specific we do differently. We say you've got this money set aside. It's only for emergencies, and that's it. It's not a catch-all, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because catch-alls end up with nothing.
That's right.
People end up spending them all. Jacob is in Detroit. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. It's good to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
I was just wondering why you recommend using mutual funds instead of index funds.
Well, to start with, index funds are mutual funds. They're a type of mutual funds. And why I don't recommend using those exclusively is pretty simple. There are about 40% of the mutual funds out there outperform the S&P. And the typical, when someone says index funds, are typically talking about an S&P 500 index fund. Are you?
Yes. Among others, there's the Dow Jones, there's the NASDAQ, and others like that. But
there's Russell. There's a bunch of index funds. But 90% of the time when somebody calls me talking about index funds, they've been reading about Bogle and, Bogleheads and passive investing. And Warren Buffett's advice is just buy index funds, which is not bad advice. An index fund will perform at the stock market rate exactly. I own index funds. I'm not against them, but I do also own a whole bunch of mutual funds that outperform the S&P and have over 30 years. So that would be why I would do it. Does that make sense?
Yes, just the fear that I'm having is you mentioned the percentage of the mutual funds perform better than specifically index, and I want to be the guy that wins and not the guy that gets lied to.
Well, what you do is you look at a track. The best shot you got is looking at a track record. The only reason you depend on the index fund is looking at the track record.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If we're looking at past performance to indicate future,
it's the only thing you have to indicate future.
I mean, if you have two funds in
when the commercials say that, Jacob, it's absolute bullcrap. Because think about it. How can you forecast the future of an investment other than by analyzing its past and any changes that have happened since that past performance? And the only way I can if I'm looking at a budgeted area inside my company, I use the last 3 years to establish the budget for the next year, plus or minus any changes that have happened since then. Right? That's called forecasting. And to not use past performance as a primary indicator, if there are no changes, the only indicator of future performance is asinine. It's the only way you could. How else would you forecast the future on it, Jacob?
Well, we can look at the index funds, and they always exactly track the market average. So
exactly.
We can use that as 100%.
But you're still looking at past performance. That's what you're looking at when you're looking at that.
And it'll always be true for index funds, just not other types of mutual funds.
But you can look at other mutual...
No. That's not true, Jacob. Because indexes are composed of like for instance, the S&P 500. Okay, the components of the S&P 500 have changed over the years. It's not the same companies. You know that, right?
Right, but it's still the average. And
it's still the average of the top 500 companies. But it's not the same 500 companies as it was in 1940, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, or 2000 or 2010. It's not the same 500 companies. Mm-hmm. And so to use the index fund and project that into the future as if there were no changes is ridiculous. It's the only thing you've got, though, and say, okay, it is going to track the market. It is representative of the market. So the only question is, do I have a reason to believe that a mutual fund, I'll give you an example. One of them that is the second largest mutual fund of all time right now in terms of number of assets, it has had an 85-year track record of outperforming the S&P. Well, crap, that's kind of a no-brainer, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's got an 8-month track record of outperforming the S&P, fine. And Jacob, if you buy S&P and you put 15% of your income in it, you're going to be rich.
That's great.
So I'm not going to be mad at you. But to do it on the to say don't recommend mutual funds because 60% of them don't outperform the S&P, and they don't. Bogle was right about that. Buffett is right about that. But I mean, I can find in the other 4 out of 10 mutual funds out there that have a 85 or a 25 or a 50-year track record that outperform the S&P, and I'm going to end up making more money than you're going to make because the mutual funds make more money than you make. So, but it's okay. We're both going to be rich. I'm just going to be richer. That's all. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. John is starting off this hour in Chicago. Hey, John, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. What's up?
So I was a sucker, and I bought a motorhome when I got a remote job that paid a lot more. And, of course, I traveled all over the United States in the last couple of years. But I realized that I want to get out of debt. I want to get away from that. And, of course, I want to get rid of the motorhome, and that seems to be hard without, just trying to sell it. So I'm just seeing what my options are.
What do you owe on the mobile home?
$70,000.
And what's it worth?
It's worth probably about between 60 and 65.
Okay, that's not too bad.
You have any money?
Don't have much money.
How much do you have?
I had about $5,000 that I could put towards it.
So you could close the gap and sell it.
Yeah, and that was my first initial thought, too. I had thoughts about just letting it go back to the bank, but I wasn't for sure what to do with that.
No, you don't let it go back.
I would not turn it in. No, don't turn it in.
No, here's the problem, okay? If it's worth $65 and you voluntarily repossess it, you're going to have a repossession on your record, number one. Oof. Number two, they're going to sell it for $40 on the repo lot, and they're going to sue you for the difference. So you control the sale price, and you cover the difference. You'll get a lot more for it, and you won't have as much difference to cover or as much hassle. So now what you've got is the hassle of selling a $65,000, $70,000 motorhome, which is a pain in the butt to do, but you can do it.
Oh, definitely.
You can do it. And it's a whole lot less of a pain in the butt than having a repo and having them chase you around for $40,000.
Yeah, because that's a funny thing you say that, because surrendering a car or turning it in sounds a lot better than repo. But really what it is a repossession.
Oh, it's a voluntary repossession.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if they come and hook a wrecker and steal it in the middle of the night, or you take it down there and hand them the keys, it shows exactly the same on your record. Mm-hmm. Both are a repossession.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So one's voluntary and one's involuntary, but the credit report does not distinguish between the two. And people ask, have you ever been repossessed? They don't ask, have you ever been voluntarily repossessed?
That's a very good point.
Have you ever filed bankruptcy? Yes. Mm-hmm. Period. Or no. It's not. There's not a, oh, well, sort of. There's not a middle answer. You did or you didn't, right? And so that's the problem with this. And so, yeah, please, folks, sell your stuff and cover the difference with a loan. Sell your stuff and cover the difference with cash. Control the price of the sale of something you're in the hole on, that you're upside down on, like an RV. I'm really shocked pleasantly, John, that thing's worth as much as it is. You must have put a lot down on it to only owe $70 and it'd be worth $65 after you've driven it around all over the place.
Well, hey, let me ask you a guidance question, because some people might be wondering this that are listening. Let's say you've got, whether it's an RV or a vehicle, you're upside down and maybe you found the cash to fill the gap, but it requires you to do a personal sale. Like you're going to, for sale by owner.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I guess the question I'm asking is, how long would you stay on for sale by owner before you would go to a dealership to sell it, or go through a dealership?
Well, here's the thing: if the data indicates from Kelley Blue Book that the car is worth $20,000, and you put it on the market for $20,000, and it goes a month and you get zero nibbles, car's probably not worth $20,000.
Yeah, drop it.
Turns out KBB was probably wrong. So the car's probably $18,000. So you're going to drop your price. But the dealer's going to give you $15,000.
Right.
So we can do series of price drops and resets until you get down to dealer. And if the dealer will give you $15,000 and the public's going to give you $15,000, then I'll deal with it.
Then it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's the real price.
It's an easier transaction to do it with a dealer, but it's very seldom, because dealers, if the car really won't sell for $20,000, a dealer really doesn't want it for $15,000.
Yeah, that's right.
Because their job is to resell it and make the spread.
Yeah.
They're buying to inventory to make a profit on it. And so they're not evil. They're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
But they're buying it wholesale to sell at retail. And if you can't sell it at retail, they probably can't either.
I think a lot of people avoid selling their own vehicle because they're thinking, oh, this is a hassle. It is a hassle. Something I've never done before.
But we go do a side hustle and we make $1,000, or we can go through this hassle and save $5,000.
Right. I agree.
So, let's do the hassle.
Hello. It's worth it. It's worth it.
It's a nice part-time job to go sell your RV.
Right.
It's
you set the hours.
You're gonna make a lot more on that than you will delivering pizza. I can tell you that. So, Caitlin is in Fargo. Hi, Caitlin. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So I'm graduating this December with my master's debt-free, and I just kind of want to be wise about income that I'll be getting after I graduate.
Congratulations. What's your master's in?
Thank you. In social work.
Good for you. Okay. So what will you be making?
Hopefully around $60,000. It kind of just depends where I get a job. And I don't even know where to begin with investing.
Okay. And you're 100% debt-free?
I am. Yep.
No car debt?
Nope, just paid off my car a few months ago.
Okay. So, and you have an emergency fund?
I do. I currently don't have a job because I'm in college, so I'm using my emergency fund right now. So the first thing I need to do is build that back up.
Okay. That's your first investment to do. And then after that, depending on where you're working, we're gonna say do retirement plans. Start putting 15% of your income away for retirement. And then I would start doing additional savings for purchase of your first home.
Okay. Awesome.
That's pretty exciting. Easy, pretty simple, right? There's not much to it. You need to be on a budget and watching what you're doing. And if I were you, I would want to get a head start on the job search.
Okay.
Because 6 months from today, you want to be working there.
Yes, that's hopefully the goal.
Yeah, so I'd want to know where there is and what they pay, and I can start to do a little bit more planning that way. And you can find out how tough the hiring market is or isn't in that particular category between now and then. I'd want to be on that for sure.
Absolutely. And you made a good point. There's always that question between, do I save for a house first? Do I start investing first? Can I do them at the same time? That whole thing. So
I got a feeling, I just had the feeling she's pretty careful.
Yeah.
She's debt-free, 100%, education and everything. So she's probably a save for retirement and house at the same time person.
And she's single, so she's probably got that extra ability to do that.
Yeah, you can control
Extra
that
money.
flow too. Yeah, that makes a lot of difference.
That's good.
So,
very good.
Fun,
debt-free
good
master's
stuff.
degree. I love that.
Yeah, love it. Well, debt-free. That's it. Yeah, excellent. Good stuff. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney's book, Building a Non-Anxious Life, has now been out for 1 week. You can get it at anywhere great books are sold. It will be a number one, I'm sure. It'll be a second number one when we get the numbers in a couple days here. And in the meantime, you can pick it up at RamseySolutions.com. There are 6 daily choices to make to not eliminate anxiety from your life, but to greatly reduce it and deal with it properly when it does come your way. Everyone has anxiety about some things. Anxiety is a good thing. It keeps you from running into traffic.
Right.
And, I have anxiety now. Yeah, well, don't run in traffic. It's a good thing. So you have to prepare your life, build your life in such a way that you have a lower probability of living in it perpetually. And we've built such a crazy world that now nearly half of the U.S. population reports their lives are affected by anxiety, stress, burnout. It's everywhere. Building a Non-Anxious Life, Dr. John Deloney's brand new book, RamseySolutions.com. Anna is with us in Dallas. Hi, Anna. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
So I do not need to get a car loan, but I want to get one so that I could build a good credit line, and I was just wondering what you would suggest.
How old are you, Anna?
I just turned 20.
Okay.
Why do you think it's important for you to build a good line of credit? What do you plan to do with that?
Good credit score.
I have somewhat of a credit score just from I've kept up with credit cards and such. I only have 2, and my credit score isn't great, but do plan on buying a house so that I can rent it, maybe a duplex or even building a duplex since I am in that industry. And I do plan on renting it out to people so that they can pay for the mortgage.
Okay. What do you do in the real estate industry?
I am an architectural designer for a custom home builder.
Okay.
Very cool. So all the talk about the credit score, so the ultimate use for you is you're wanting to buy a house. We actually teach a way that you can buy a house without a credit score, which is a safer way to deal with money in general because you're not having to enter into debt in order to do the things that you want to do. You're not having to put the risk of debt on your life and that stress in your life in order to do the things that you want to do. So I would say to you that if you have the money to buy a car in cash, buy the car in cash or save up until you can. The idea of building up a credit score. And when you really look at what a credit score is, it's simply how you interact with debt, how long you've had debt, how much debt you've had, what percentage of debt that you're using. That's all that they're looking at. They're not looking to see if a person can actually manage the money that they have in their bank account, in their pocket. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So what would you recommend for someone, like in my instance, it's a smaller bank, so it's kind of more personal-ish. What would you recommend? Because I know that I do plan on developing and then building my own spec homes in the future. So I kind of want a relationship with them. If not, I would have to get in touch with some investors that I know of.
Let's talk about one goal at a time. Because right now you're just like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I love the idea that you have goals going towards the future. But your first thought is, ultimately, how can I get the house that I want to get? That was your first question. And so my thing is I'm going to teach you how to do it without a credit score. So I would contact Churchill Mortgage when the time comes.
Let's get that house, and let's get you living in a house that you own before we start talking about doing a spec house at 20 years old.
Right. First things first.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I actually plan to live at home until I'm married, just to be more traditional, because I do plan on getting married pretty soon. Don't plan on having any bills, really, until I get the car, if I do it on a car loan.
So I think that you should pay cash for the car. That's thing one.
Do you understand you don't need a credit score to buy a house?
You don't
understand
need it.
that? You've been lied to. You understand that?
It's called manual underwriting. I did it. Dr. John Deloney did it. George Camel did it. We've all done it. So it's not just a theory. It's manual underwriting. And all they're doing, you're walking through a lot of the same processes. They're just looking at your actual money, how much income you have coming in, as opposed to your debt. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. So if I'm you, I'm buying my car in cash simply because I need a car. And then if you have any other debt, I'm clearing it up. Go ahead. While you're living with your parents, save up 3 to 6 months of expenses, not for your expenses at the moment, but what you think they will be once you move out of the house. So you've got that ready.
Moving out of the house and living in an apartment will actually help you get the house.
It will. That's right.
Though.
And here's the thing.
Because they're not going to count your income like you count it. Because they're not going to count people that have zero expenses, because that doesn't exist in the real world. And so, go ahead and setting up your life as a young woman, independent woman, is not a bad thing. It's not an immoral thing either, by the way. But it does cost more money, and you'll have your own space, your own place. Yeah. And I think that's the direction I would go. Courtney is in Los Angeles. Hi, Courtney. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My question is, should we sell our home to purchase one that's bigger and has lower monthly payments, but my husband would have to commute about 2 hours to work?
No.
No way. He's going to hate that.
Okay.
He's going to hate you.
Well, can I elaborate a little bit, if I may?
You can, but I don't think it's going to change it.
You can, but you're not talking me into commuting 2 hours. Not a chance I would do that.
Right. No, it wouldn't be an everyday thing. It would be, so he's in law enforcement, so he has chunks of days where he's working, where he could be staying with his mom, and then on his stretches of days off, he would be commuting up to us.
I don't like it. I'm just being honest with you.
You want a part-time husband?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of used to solo parenting with him being gone.
Honey, if you want to do it, you do it. You called and asked if we would do it. We were both unanimous in a no.
What did he say? When you guys have talked about it, what did he say?
When you suggested he lives with his mother instead of you so that you can get this house, what did he say?
I mean, he's open to it. He's very cautious. We've looked at the area and at the housing, and it's, everything looks good, but we're just doing a lot of thinking, a lot of praying.
I think you're prioritizing the size of the house and the housing situation over the quality of your life, of your family. And I think it's a bad choice.
I'd agree with that. I agree. I mean, that's the way she framed it up.
It's
a bigger
simple.
house.
And a lower payment, but I lose control of our family relationships.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. You scatterbrained the whole place.
Yeah, that's not a long-term play.
Not a chance. I live 8 minutes from my house, and there's no one there but my wife and my dog. But I'm still going home in a few minutes. Wow, that would drive me bananas.
I couldn't do it.
In 2 hours, I can almost be in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And is it 2 hours going and 2 hours coming home?
A 2 hour commute.
That's 4 hours. Oh, no way. Yeah. Life's too short for all that.
Yeah. I mean, I understand in Los Angeles you're going to have longer commutes than we have in Nashville.
Sure.
We have a better quality of life than you do.
That's right.
But it's just the same. 2 hours is not. It's not sustainable in a relational context.
No.
For your kids. Your kids need their dad more than that. And more than they need their dad living with his mom part-time so you can have this house. Not a chance.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
No. So it's, here's the other thing. If both answers suck, you don't have enough options. If the answer that 2 hour commute sucks and staying where we are is super expensive sucks,
there's always a third choice.
What's another option?
Yeah, there's always
a fourth option and a fifth option, a sixth option. Maybe we don't live in that area of California at all.
That's right.
Maybe he takes a job in law enforcement in a different place. That is more affordable that we can live in. I mean, maybe you don't make enough to live in that area.
That's a fact.
And so then you're forced into other decisions. People have done that for centuries.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States of America.
Yeah, you don't have to.
It's what causes people to move to other areas all the time.
Yeah.
There's always a migration in this country, and a lot of it is driven by economics. So, that's a possibility. But, those aren't the only two options in your life. Because both the options you gave me suck. You need more options. This is The Ramsey Show. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Hey, if you like this show, we would appreciate some help. I want you to subscribe, click follow, click subscribe, depending on whether you're podcasting or you're YouTubing or you're listening on talk radio. Lock it in on your dial so you can bring it up again at this time of the day when your local station has us. Click subscribe, click follow. Also, share the show. Some of the services have a share button that you can push, and you can easily share the link and send that around. We'd love to have you do that. And, of course, also leave a nice 5-star review. And for those of you that didn't know, this show is broadcast on TBN as well. And, Jade, I pulled up the TBN app the other day, and you and Rachel were on, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it really looks good. Y'all look great, and the show looked great, and the quality of the delivery, it's crystal clear. It's beautiful. The set and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how good we looked. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
we look pretty good, Dave.
It's nice stuff. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Mark and Haley are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, great.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Better than we deserve. Welcome.
Same.
So where do you guys live?
Upland, California.
Cool. Now, where's Upland?
It's about 30 miles east of LA.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, welcome to Nashville. Good to have you. And all the way across the continental United States to do a debt-free scream. How much did you pay off?
We paid off $474,000.
I love it. And how long did that take?
About 3.5 years.
Good for you.
Love it.
I love it. And your range of income during that time?
We started at 174 combined, and we ended at 296.
Look at that. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a detective with a law enforcement agency.
Mm-hmm.
And I work in accounting.
Ah, very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. So what kind of debt was the $474,000?
We had our mortgage.
Yes.
You paid off your house?
Yes.
In freaking L.A.?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Come
my
on,
gosh. And the lady just called from L.A. Her husband's in law enforcement, and she wants to move 2 hours away.
I know.
And you just are sitting there shaking your head listening to that. You
It's
had
all
to
in
be.
the
I felt
overtime.
bad following that up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, with a success story of how not to do it.
This is the
that's
right way.
awesome. Way to go. What in the world? How long have you guys been married?
Going on 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wow.
And what's this house worth?
About $1 million.
Come on.
Yeah, millionaires.
So-
How old are you two?
32 and 34.
And you're millionaires.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
No, I mean, that's just with the house. We didn't even ask about
I
your
know, right?
investments yet. Oh, man.
Well, what are those?
How much in the investments?
About 200,000.
Way to go, guys.
You guys, way
Yeah.
to go. I'm so proud of y'all. How's
Thank
it feel
you.
to have no payments in the world?
Totally liberating.
Yeah. Yeah.
In California.
In California. And that the house was about 390 of that. And then the rest, we also had a HELOC because we had an emergency HVAC replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 car loans and
Solar panels.
our solar panels.
Oh, man.
What happened 3.5 years ago? What was the wake-up call, and how'd you get connected to us?
So that all came from a friend of mine at work. I remember someone told me, "Oh, you should talk to Vicente. He's paying off his house." And I thought someone had just spoke to me in a foreign language, so I had to figure out what was going on. So I picked his brain. He said, "It's Dave Ramsey." I said, "What is that?"
what?
I figured it was some magical Bitcoin or something I could jump on, and he said, "No, it's just hard work and paying off your debt and having a budget." And I thought, that doesn't sound like me. And here we are 3.5 years later doing
So
it.
he read
That's
the
funny.
Total Money Makeover book, and then he pushed me to read it. It took me probably about a month, and then I read it, and then I was like, okay, I'm doing FPU. So I ran through that, and then we were full steam ahead.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes from a friend recommending it, speaking in a foreign language, and
Thinking Dave is a cryptocurrency.
that's the ultimate right there. I love it. Yeah, that's perfect. And then you get the book. Both of you read it. Somewhat force-fed, and then we go from that headlong into Financial Peace University. Wow. And you did that on your own?
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Okay. All right. Very good. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank
Thank you.
Well done. How's it feel to be completely free? You said it already. Liberating.
Liberating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still unreal. It still hasn't fully hit me yet.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of, I mean, at your age, you say, I'm a millionaire. And I don't feel different.
No.
Yeah.
It's strange. I got to get him to go to work. It didn't change anything,
It does have a nice ring to it, though.
I'll take it.
I love it. Well
so
done.
during this 3.5 years, was this just taking extra income, from your normal jobs and saying, hey, we're going to be intentional about paying this off? Or did you kind of put the pedal to the metal? Did you pick up any extra hours?
He got promoted during the time. And then because he got a work vehicle, we decided to sell his truck. So that was about a little over $52,000, and we just put that all towards the house because at that point we had paid off everything else.
Oh wow!
And then he worked a ton of overtime.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I averaged at minimum about 40 to 50 hours every 2 weeks of overtime.
Wow.
And on top of his 80 hours
on
regular.
Top of the 80.
Oh, okay. So yeah, y'all went hard in the paint.
Very much.
Wow, hardcore.
Yeah.
So what can you get paid an hour on overtime in that kind of situation?
So it's time and a half for us.
It is. Oh, so it's not necessarily side work as an officer. It's
correct.
Not doing something for the local church or whatever, that kind of thing. It's you're actually overtime at the force.
Yes, so ours would be there, and ours is more of like a medical transport for inmates that are in custody and take them to and from the hospital and back to the facility.
Okay.
Wow.
And it's time and a half. Ooh, that's
sweet.
A
lot.
That's not bad.
That's a serious side hustle. Right there.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that adds up. And you got a goal and you're getting traction. So the weird thing is you're tired, but you're not burnt.
Right. And I think the snowball really gave us momentum. I think we started small and we progressed, and we both felt that momentum start, and it was like, hey, we got to get this done. This is in progress, and it's so close. It's at hand. So let's get it.
Yeah. Just finish it. I like it. Well done, you guys. I'm proud of you. Who was cheering you on?
I think each other. We were probably our biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And DeSantis.
And DeSantis.
Yep. I'm sure.
Is that his name? Is that what you called it?
Your work buddy?
Your work buddy.
Vicente.
Oh, Vicente. There you go.
Not the governor of Florida. Right, okay, I'm sorry. Completely screwed. Where did I go? I got screwed up there. Yeah, okay. He's like, what?
DeSantis is his last
He's
name.
like, what? The guy's running for president. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to just do a shout out to Vicente, because honestly, I give a lot of pushback, and I did not want to go down this path. And every day he would come in, hey, have you read the book? And I'd tell him, no, not yet. I'm going to get to it. And in my head, I'm like, no way. And then, about a month later, I decided, I'm going to read this just to get this guy off my back. And next thing you know, I'm reading it, and I just thought, this makes way too much sense. I don't understand how I didn't know any of this before now.
Yeah, I think you guys owe him a real nice steak dinner.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
You're millionaires because of this guy. That's very cool. Yeah, because he wouldn't let up on his buddy.
That's right.
That's good stuff.
It's amazing.
Very cool. I'm so proud of y'all. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
I think probably the budget is the big thing. You don't realize how much money you're spending until you put it down on paper, and then it's like, oh no. And then I think keeping each other motivated, keeping the end goal in mind.
Yeah.
And the little one right here, just
go ahead and bring him in. What's his name?
This is Rhodes.
All right, Rhodes is he's gonna scream with us for sure.
That's right.
We're not sure if it's debt free, but he's gonna scream. Yeah.
Hold on.
All right, that's good. Good job, you guys. Proud of you guys.
He's a little
well
wiggle
done.
worm.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's fun. Wiggle worm.
Look, say hi.
Baby Steps Millionaires book, Total Money Makeover book, and Financial Peace University. Maybe you can give it to one of your other fellow officers, and you can be to them what your friend was to you. Very good stuff. We're going to send all that with you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're very
Thank
proud
you
of you
so
guys.
much.
You changed that young man's life right there, and he doesn't even know it yet.
Yep.
His whole family tree's changed. His mom and dad are millionaires. Baby Steps Millionaires. Mark and Haley and Rose, Upland, California. $474,000 paid off in 3.5 years, making $171 to $296. House and everything, and Baby Steps Millionaires in their 30s. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
We're
debt-free!
Oh, he'll be all right, I promise you. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Luke 14:11, for all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. A peacock that rests on his tail feathers is just another turkey. Dolly Parton.
Of course she would say that.
Dolly Parton. Well done. You gotta love Miss Dolly. All right, Marianne. It's like state law in Tennessee, by the way.
That's true.
Marianne is with us in Richland, Washington. Hi, Marianne. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My husband and I are in a bit of a disagreement. We wanted to find out how much we should have in our emergency fund as contract workers.
Okay.
Are you freelance, or do you contracts have extended time on them?
I work as a travel ultrasound tech.
And how long is your contract?
13 weeks. They can be longer than that, though.
Okay. And what is the probability of some kind of a renewal or stepping into another one? Like 100%, right?
Yes, pretty high.
Yeah. That's why you're willing to do that rather than taking a job doing it, right?
Right.
Okay. What about him? What's his contract?
Well, he's a welder, so he travels with me and then just gets work in the area we're in.
And there's always a demand for welders, is there not?
Yes, there is.
Okay. But his is basically bit work. It's freelance side work, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Well, 3 to 6 months of expenses is what we always say. You would be on the 6 month of expenses side. What are your monthly expenses?
Just typical rent.
No, how
gas,
much?
Groceries.
How much money? Does it take for you to
total
operate
rent,
your house in a month?
I would say 4,000.
Okay. 6 times that. What was the argument
Okay.
about?
Well, we're also still trying to pay off my student loans.
No, you're
which
not
is
doing any.
37.
You have a $1,000 emergency fund then. You don't have 3 to 6 months of
Okay.
expenses. $1,000.
Oh, I see.
Does that make
Okay,
sense?
So it does. So even if we need a deposit for our next rental when we move,
Why would you need deposit when you move? You get your deposits back, do you not?
typically we just started this year, so
Typically, the only reason you wouldn't get a deposit back is if you didn't fulfill the terms of the lease.
Okay, yes, I see.
If you don't tear up the place and you abide by the lease, you get your deposit back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so typically would be, yeah, you will, period. And so that's how you arrange your move. You don't sign a lease that's...
I was going to say,
you don't sign a 6-month lease when you have a 3-month contract, right?
No, we're just month to month.
Yeah, okay. Good. So you'd get your deposit back. You give them 30 days notice, you don't tear up the place. And boom, we're gone. So if you need to, if you're coming towards the end of a contract and you think you're going to be moving, you would put into your budget the deposits for the next place because you're going to have to cash flow those before the last place returns them to you. You're going to have a cash flow bind, but you're not going to ultimately be out of pocket that money. It's just for a short, like you may be a month off. You follow me?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got to prepare for that. But how much is your student loan debt?
$37,000.
Cool.
Yeah, so for you right now, you're in baby step 1. You've got getting the $1,000 saved, and then from now on until you get that $37,000 paid off, you're listing your debt smallest to largest, and your student loan. Is it one loan or is it one loan broken into a lot of small pieces?
Broke into a lot of small ones.
Yeah. Good. So probably right now your minimum payment is satisfying the minimums of all those little loans. So you've got to make the minimum payment to satisfy those. And then whatever money you have left over, you're going to throw out the smallest of those little loans. And you've got to call in. You've got to call in and say, hey, I paid my minimum payment, but I've got this extra money here. I want it to go to this specific loan. Because if you don't do that, they're going to take that extra payment and they're going to divide it over all those little loans again. And you're going to wonder, well, what happened? I'm not seeing any of the loan balances change. So you've got to call in to do that.
You have to make sure it goes on that one smallest loan.
Yeah.
When it's gone, it's going to change it's going to get the debt snowball rolling for you. So what's your household income, Marianne?
This year it was $130,000.
Okay, then you should be debt free in under a year.
Yay. Way to go.
Awesomeness.
Thank you.
Yeah, way to go. You're doing great.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I'm not sure who won the argument, but you're doing great. Johnny is in Cincinnati. Hey, Johnny, what's up?
Hey, Dave. Not much. Question for you about public service loan forgiveness and my current student debt situation and mortgage situation. So I have 96 payments on this public service loan forgiveness, with the goal being 120 for the program. I kind of had that planned since I graduated in 2014. Didn't think too much about it, had a bunch of life changes take place, and now I have almost enough to pay off the student loans, and I'm considering paying those off now instead of waiting for the public service loan forgiveness.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Did you say you graduated in 2014?
Correct.
So this is 9, almost 10 years of just, well, maybe they'll do it. 10 years of your life. Yeah, pay them off.
Yeah.
Not to mention...
Johnny, so here's the situation. That so far, 97% of the loans that followed the student loan forgiveness program have not been forgiven. They've only forgiven less than 3%. And so if you have a 97% chance that your plan's not going to work.
The reason I was...
Son, I just told you, 3 out of 100. Don't argue with this. 3 out of 100 it works for. You actually think you're one of those. Pay off your loan.
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm thinking.
What do you owe? What do you owe on it?
$86,000.
I'd write a check tomorrow, hon. I'd be free. Listen, you don't want to sit around and wait on the government to make your life awesome, because you're going to be waiting the rest of your life and you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
The secret to happiness is low expectations. Lower your expectations of what the government's going to do for you, because it all amounts to nothing.
Yeah, 10 years making minimum payments. He could have been done 7 years ago.
Well, he's got the money now.
Yeah.
So today, either you're going to be sitting there 96 payments from now disappointed because you're not one of the 3 out of 100 that actually gets the forgiveness, or you will have spent the last 10 years building wealth because you got rid of this crap by writing the check today. So the student loan forgiveness program is a scam. It's a lie. Anything that 97% of the people don't get what was promised to them is called a scam.
Yeah.
It's a lie. It's a government lie. Okay? Another one. Just like the Biden student loan forgiveness was. It was a lie. He knew it was a lie. He knew the Supreme Court was going to throw it out, and he played it at the midterms anyway just to get people to vote for Democrats.
Yeah,
it was a lie. We told you when he did it, it was a lie. I've told you this was a lie. So it's a lie.
And the only reason...
Don't fall for another government lie, Democrat or Republican. You can't wait on those morons to fix your life.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're hearing a lot more about it lately. You'll see somebody pop up, my student loan got forgiven. And they're doing these, it's little pop-up forgivenesses to try to keep people hanging on the line, right?
It's a lie.
Yeah.
When you actually look at the statistical evidence of the number of people who got rid of their student loans because of the government doing anything, it's almost zero, you guys.
Yeah. Less than
It's almost
3%.
zero. Like, one of my buddies said the other day, Biden forgave $9 billion out of $1.7 trillion on a plan that already existed.
Exactly.
It wasn't him. He just took credit for a plan that was in place before he was in office. Typical politics moron. It's a lie.
Yeah.
God. All right. Hope I'm through now. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.